Welcome back and welcome to another movie reviews video. As always, my movie reviews are spoiler free and I will leave timestamps in the description box below. So if there is a particular movie you want to hear my thoughts on, you can scroll along to that time and just hear about that movie. I have 6 movies to tell you about this week. I didn't watch a whole lot of movies for the last couple of weeks and they were just classics that I watched. So that's why I haven't brought a movie reviews video to you for a little while. But what I'm going to do is I have 3 newer releases to talk about and 3 classic movies to talk about. And so I'll talk about the newer releases first and then I will move into the classic movies. And yeah, timestamps will be in the description box anyway. So the first new movie I saw in cinemas, I saw a couple of weeks ago. So if it is not still playing where you are, I apologise. It seemed to have quite a limited release. And this was Luce, which stars Octavia Spencer and Naomi Watts. I didn't really know an awful lot going into this one. I knew it was a bit of a psychological thriller. And so I was kind of like curious and I found it playing at the right time, which was helpful. This one is definitely a psychological thriller. There's not a whole ton of like violent stuff that happens in this film. There's never oh, he's done this or she's done this. It's very much like a slow build, a slow burn. And so it does make it quite difficult to talk about because obviously I don't want to give you any spoilers. And the film itself, not a whole lot happens, but there are certain events that happen and certain ways things are talked about. And so it does stick with you. I wouldn't say it's a terribly satisfying film because it is such a slow burn and because it doesn't give a whole lot away. But what it says about culture today, what it says about inherent racism and kind of not reverse racism, but kind of society's view on people of colour and society's view on one particular gender versus another particular gender is very interesting, whilst at the same time being very dramatic performances from the actors and clever writing with the fact that it's slow burn but it keeps you watching. So I do definitely recommend this one. Whether it benefited from being on the big screen, I'm not sure, but seeing it as it was intended to be seen on the big screen was really quite nice. So if it is still playing where you are, I definitely recommend it. Give it a watch. Then the next new release I saw was Brittany Runs a Marathon. This is an Amazon original film, so we know that this will be coming to Amazon Prime sometime soon, because this wasn't one where I would say yes, you should watch it on the big screen. I like the fact that it was set in New York, and I like the fact that it shows a woman determined to change her life and determined to #live her best life. And I like the fact that we see that in a film. It is one of those films where you do kind of feel like there's a bit of a conscious effort to make sure that there are an equal number, if not more, women on screen than men, making sure that there is equal screen time. I feel like there may have been a conscious effort there, and I applaud that. I like the fact that we have this female doing stuff without the help of a man. This film says an awful lot about friendship in the 21st century and friendship in the age of social media and Instagram and FOMO and what your body image is like. And I like what it had to say about that. In terms of it being a body positive film, because obviously Brittany sees herself as fat, the doctor tells her she's overweight, and so she does something about it, and she then kind of almost develops fat phobia herself, and it's seen as, oh, when she's not fat anymore, she can have a happy life. I don't like that part of it. There are other messages that come out about body positivity and about being fat doesn't equal being unhappy later on in the film, but it almost felt a little bit like it was too little too late. But what it says about being a strong woman and what it says about friendship today, I like enough that I didn't hate the film. So it is problematic, definitely, but some of the stuff that it says I like enough that I didn't hate the film. I wouldn't recommend rushing out to see it on the big screen. I don't think it benefits from being on the big screen, and because it's an Amazon film, we know that it will quite quickly be on Amazon Prime, so it's worth waiting. If you have Amazon Prime, you know you'll be able to watch it then, and let me know your opinions about the body image, what it says about being fat. Definitely come back and tell me what you think about that. Then the third new film I watched in cinemas this week was Hustlers, and this one, what I was saying about Brittany Runs a Marathon and the screen time given to the female characters over the male characters, this one is basically all women on screen all the time, and the men who are on screen are the men paying to see these women and kind of being manipulated and being put down a bit by these women. So this one is definitely a girl power movie. I've heard a lot of disparaging comments about like, oh, it's the Jennifer Lopez stripper movie. But I really like a Jennifer Lopez film. I was excited to go and see this one. All of her recent movies, all of her like noughties, rom-coms, I have really, really enjoyed. I think that she is somebody that I enjoy seeing on the big screen, and a lot of her films are about people who come from real places and have had real lives and have done some real living and haven't had it easy, and I think I like that storyline in a movie. This movie, parts of it are very glam and very outlandish, and that was great to see on the big screen. It works really well on the big screen, and obviously there's a lot of music in this film. Because the film is about dancers, there is a lot of music going on. The soundtrack was really good, and the sound on the big screen definitely enhanced the experience, the fact that we had that quality sound. So this is one I would recommend going to see in the cinemas if it's still on where you are. I liked the storyline. It's not always easy watching. There are some difficult scenes to watch, and there are some scenes where you aren't necessarily rooting for the main character because you don't feel like they've made the right choice. But at the heart of it, there is female friendship. There are, you know, as the song says, sisters doing it for themselves. And I really like that about it. I came out of it feeling quite empowered. This one has a fabulous body positivity message because we've got Lizzo in here, you know, shaking it and up there on the stage, getting all the male appreciation, getting all the female appreciation, and she's fabulous. Her sort of cameo is quite small, but I liked that she was in there. We've got, you know, people of all shapes and sizes and all ethnicities in this film, and so I liked what it was doing there as well. I think it was a very female positive and body positive film, and for entertainment's worth, it has a good storyline, it has some funny moments, it has some shocking moments, the music's fabulous, the heart of the film is there all the time, and I really enjoyed it, so I definitely recommend this one. Then moving on to the more classic movies I saw in cinemas. As you know, we are currently making our way through the IMDb top 100 films as of January this year, and if they are on the big screen, we always take the opportunity to go and see them. So the first film that we saw on the big screen this week from the list was Citizen Kane, which I had never seen and had no idea what it was about. This film feels a little bit like your Christmas Carol or your It's a Wonderful Life without the really super positive ending. The ending of this film leaves you asking a lot of questions and leaves you wanting more. You've got the classic Hollywood thing of, well, his first wife was quiet and understated and sort of perceived to be intelligent and had a lot of money and was very kind of calm and cool and classy, and then his second wife was a dancer and had no money and was a little bit crude and very loud and very shrill. I love when they kind of do that in an old Hollywood film, not necessarily now, but it had that and I liked that about it. And then the credits rolled and it's like, and starring Orson Welles, produced, written and directed by Orson Welles. It was like Orson Welles decided, I'm going to make a story that's all about me, and I'm going to direct it, and I'm going to write it, and I'm going to produce it, and it's going to be all me on the screen all the time and all about me. And that's kind of what it was. I really enjoyed it. Like I say, it's got those aspects of A Christmas Carol and It's a Wonderful Life, both, you know, Muppets Christmas Carol. It's one of my favourite films. I love It's a Wonderful Life. It's got those aspects, but without that kind of feel-good ending, which, you know, I don't always need a feel-good ending, but I liked it more than I thought it was going to be. And I know for a lot of people in these kind of lists, it makes it much higher up the list than this IMDb one. When people talk about classic films, it's right up there with like Schindler's List and Godfather. It's slightly lower down on the IMDb list, but I still think it was a good film. So then the next classic film I have to talk about is Lawrence of Arabia, which was on in the cinema. It started at 6 and we got out of there at 10:15. There was an intermission, which I appreciated. However, the concessions at my movie theatre were closed, so you couldn't get more drink, you couldn't get more food, you couldn't get more beer. Oh, it was a long old slog. I like a journey film, I do. And I thought that the acting in this one was pretty good. It was definitely good seeing it on the big screen. It was just too long. I think if we cut this time in half, the film would have been like, yes, we're going on an epic adventure. There's lots of big actors here. Lots of things are going to happen. It's going to be classic. But after that 2-hour point, yes. If I hadn't kind of had to watch it for the list, probably at intermission, I would not have come back. Yeah. It's just, I don't really have any more to say about it. It was really, really long. It was just very long. Very, very long. The bits in it were good. And it was interesting and it was dramatic. Sometimes it was funny, but it was all taken away from because it was 4 hours long. So yeah, wasn't my favourite on the list. Wasn't terribly highly rated by me. Then I went to see Beauty and the Beast, the original 1991 cartoon Disney version. They are playing a different kind of Disney princess movie every week at my cinemas at the minute. They're probably doing it all over the place, so you should check and see if it's somewhere near you as well, because I have another one to talk about in next week's video too. At least one more. I might have seen 2 by the time I see you next week. It was lovely seeing this on the big screen again. When I saw the new Beauty and the Beast, I got to see it in IMAX, which was exciting. When I first saw this movie, I saw it at the cinema. And so it was just, I was taken back to a time and a place, and it was just lovely. And it was lovely seeing a film that wasn't 4 hours long as well. This film is 94 minutes. And, you know, I didn't have to leave and use the bathroom in the middle of it because it was only 94 minutes and I knew I could wait until the end. it was interesting looking at this versus the newer Disney princess films. The animation style is so different, and I kind of look at this film and think, oh yeah, it's got excellent animation, and I'm like, wow, yeah, that's interesting. It was interesting to reflect back on that. I was kind of gutted that there were quite a lot of other people in the cinema because I couldn't sing along. I had to mouth along the whole time. So it might be the case that I watch this again at home just so I can sing along. I did put my Disney soundtrack on in the car on the way home again. But it was just nice seeing this on the big screen. So have a look and see if your movie theatre is doing they're called Dream Big Princess. And they had Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast. I didn't manage to catch Little Mermaid. Tangled, Princess and the Frog, I think. And I'm not sure if they're doing more after that. Those are the ones that have been announced. So have a look and see, because it was just lovely and comforting seeing it on the big screen, and because it was on at 6 and it was only 94 minutes, there was still time for dinner afterwards. Just perfect Thursday night. Okay, I will be back with another movie reviews video for you next week, because I have tickets booked for things that I'm ready to talk about. So make sure you are subscribed so that lands in your subscription feed. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and as always, let me know in the comments if there is a particular movie you would like me to go and watch, and then share my thoughts on here next week. And yeah, come back and tell me what you think Brittany Runs a Marathon has to say about body image and body positivity and being fat, because I don't know anyone else who's seen it, so I would like to discuss that with somebody. So if you go and watch it, come back and tell me. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week.